Hi, it's Lori from Positive Things Living, and welcome to the last day of 2020. As you can see, I have my 2021 planner here waiting for me. I've already been playing in it a little bit, and the word that I've chosen for 2021 to focus on, instead of any kind of goals or anything, I choose one word, and this year's word is going to be today. And it's about putting into today what will make the year a good year. Incremental. So I'm focusing on a few different things. This planner is just a plain planner with the months laid out and then a week laid out with an empty page. So who knows, might find some junk journaling bits and pieces in here eventually. I'm a little surprised to find myself back here after 25 days of videos, doing another video. What I learned after those 25 days is the fact that I am, when I'm held accountable, even if it's just an internal thing, to make a video, I do something, I finish something. So that's my goal with this video, is to tell you what I'm going to finish shortly. For Christmas, our daughter, she gave me a wax seal stamp. We have one already with an F on it because our last name is Ferguson, but I had seen this, and so I'm pleased to be able to practice making wax seals to put in a future journal. I'm going to tell you about a future journal that I'm going to do that I have been working on before I began the Christmas stuff. And it's using the country diary of an Edwardian lady, the images out of there, the pages. And the idea is that I have a fabric cover. I'm going to make two journals. That'll be another story another day. But I used Wendy at Wendy's Journal Adventures, her technique of a tacky glue between, and it dries. If you see, it has some heft to it, yet it's still very flexible. I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to put on the outside, but at this point, this is the beginning. This is the fabric. It's like a denim, but obviously green and kind of distressed looking. And I like how the edges are frayed. That's the beginning of the journal cover. I have 3 signatures for the first journal that I'm doing, and they've been prepared to some extent. The first one has some ephemera in, and most of them have the same elements. Tea-dyed paper with some stenciling. This book is from 1899. Some avocado dyed paper I purchased on Etsy. I'll link to the person that I got it from below. This is from a book about plants. And, I stuck something in here already. This is about antiques that you could find in a Canadian attic. I think the book is from the 1960s. And this is from, what do you call it when it's a book of maps? The word will come to me. Are you shouting at me? It's from the 1980s. And this music paper, you've seen me use it in the 25 days of collaging. I spritzed paint on it. This is from the 1930s, and some ledger paper that I found when I was helping my mom move out of her apartment into assisted living. I don't know how old this is, but it's old. And then this is from a book. So most of them have, all 3 have something similar in them. And the idea is that the ephemera will have the different images from Edith Holden's book. I'm trying very hard to only use things that are not digital. This This is the signature that I have the most completed already. And there's individual photos within Instagram if you just want to see the different photos, journaling cards. Interestingly, this is 10 years ago, this hard cardstock here. It was something at our son and daughter-in-law's wedding. They handed out cards for advice, so we had extra cards left nobody had written on, so I just used them to back on there. And so some journaling cards. This was a die cut, and of course an image from Edith Holden, and a pocket. Glassine bag that I tea-dyed. That was the first time I tea-dyed a glassine bag, and that was kind of interesting how it turned out. A tag. And I've chosen to do some funky sewing around the outside of this tag, the tags I've done so far, and I don't think I'll continue. I think I'm going to try and make it real straight, because as I watched other junk journalers as they do their tags, Carolyn's Craft Tree, oh, beautiful tags. She is so precise in her sewing. I really admire it. Anyhow, this is a ribbon that I did a little bit of zigzag, and these are buttons from my mom's button box, and a place to put some extra writing. I think in journals I appreciate a lot of writing space, and yet I like the art too. So my goal is to make sure that there's lots of places to journal, but still decorated with art, because it takes away the perhaps some would feel inhibited because there isn't enough space some may be inhibited because if the page is blank, then putting something on a pristine page might feel uncomfortable. So if there's a little bit something already on the page, that should take away that feeling of, oh no, I can't write on there. So that's my goal. This is an envelope that's been embossed, and tucked in there is a little flippy taggy thing. 3 tags that flip, and they're decorated with different washies. And this was an interesting experience, putting a little bit of lace on, and the Edith Holden. I used washi tape to pick up the purple, and to my eye, I don't know about to yours, it looks almost Scottish, tartanish, I don't know. A stamp from Wishes and Weeds in Canada. I sent away for some of that. And these are just tea-dyed paper. I found it very interesting how it dried. I don't think I could do that again if I tried. So that gets tucked in there. A little more place, a few more places. So I have other things to add. These are the translucent Post-it notes that I have used for specimen cards, but also on paper, like this is from 1899 encyclopedia paper. If you want to write on here, you can still write on the Post-it notes. You can put them elsewhere if you wanted to, but the option is there, and you can still see the encyclopedia paper behind. This is a corner tuck collage. That was before my collaging practice, so I sure hope I get better at that. And then a pocket with a little bit of this avocado dyed paper. There was a brownish smudge, so I put this over top to make it interesting and tuck it in. Piece of music paper that's been embossed a wee bit and torn. And again, I've just begun this signature, adding things to the signature. I'm thinking of doing a belly band here. I like this. To have it alone, yeah, maybe a ribbon behind. Haven't decided yet. And more. This is tea-dyed tracing paper. I added a little space to tuck something in there of this. This is a napkin that I put on top of the encyclopedia paper. All of the encyclopedia papers, I'm finding those that I have anyhow. They tear very easily, so they have to be backed onto something. I use Yes paste to put them down on a sheet of paper, and then I cut up the sheet of paper into whatever I need. A belly band with a journaling card behind it. This has been embossed, and then I went very lightly over it with Distress ink. And another pocket. No, it's not a pocket. It's a tuck with a napkin over top with encyclopedia paper. Some washi tape on the edge of this. Again, more of the translucent Post-it notes. You get the idea of the direction I'm going anyhow. And then this is one of my favorite things so far anyhow. A tuck with one of the collaging with slow stitching that I did. And then I pulled out a piece of, this is cardstock. It's not real heavy cardstock, but okay, let's make a little place to journal. So it's just one piece of tea dye paper that I used a 3-hole journal stitch on. But it just tucks in there like a little notebook. And it would be fun to take it out and put it somewhere else. I don't know. Whoever gets this can choose what they want to do. And the back, I have a tag tucked in the pocket. This, again, was on the same page, the song Thrush and It's Young. And I thought it would be nice to keep these two together because that's the egg. So it was like a belly band to go over top of the tag, and it gets tucked in there, at least for now. Eventually, these 3 signatures, when they're complete, will go into the this. So, and again, I'm going to try and complete most of it on camera. If you're interested in watching, I'd be thrilled. But it's also to hold myself accountable, and maybe in the comments you can leave me some suggestions, things you've learned as you put things together. I'll just show you a few more of the items that I've completed to go into this journal. Another tag that swings with an extra little tag here. This is a brad in the shape of a leaf. I like doing those, I guess. And here's a pocket, or it might be a flip. I'm not sure. That's that translucent Post-it note again. This was a die cut that I embossed, and some more of the encyclopedia paper that has been with different napkins put on top, and a flip of place to journal. Just that much. Now I have a bunch of little stuff that I've also done. These are, you might recognize this if we're friends on Instagram. I posted these a while ago. These will all go into the journal on different pages. As you can see, this is, I've used a bit of the fabric from what will be the cover to make things interesting. These are slow stitch stuff with some little key charms and buttons and words. Yeah. It's finishing it, I think, that I'm having I'm slowing down on. And so making videos just might help me finish it, because experience has shown me that doing those 25 videos helped me finish a journal as I practiced collaging. So these are just little tags, and the backs have a bit on them, so they'll go in the journal also. That is where I'm at this point. Now I completed this in the last few days. I just did a stitch of embroidery floss over. It's an old envelope that I cut down. It was a nice beige color, very nice gold beige. And so there's a tag that goes into it, some washi, and this little tab that has a button from my mum's button box. The buttons are old. And it'll tuck right in there nicely. And I'd like to be able to attach it to a page in this signature. And I picked out the page so that I've actually done something instead of, just make a video with you watching. I thought I'd attach it here. It's going to flip out. Let me move some of these tags that I've made so we don't get any glue on them. I'm influenced quite heavily by Wendy at Wendy's Journal Adventures. I'll link to her below. I really admire her style. I admire the things she comes up with. So I'm going to try a flip of this tag so it'll flip out. I've attached already with glue the pieces of muslin, and now we'll finish attaching it. So yes, I've actually done something in this video to complete the project, or toward completing the project. We had a very quiet Christmas. I'm imagining that you can understand. And perhaps you also had a quiet Christmas. We're very blessed that our children and their children, our grandchildren, live about 10 minutes away from us. So we see each other regularly already. We were able to be with them for Christmas. That was a joy. I'll be very blunt and candid in saying that. For those of you that had to forego that pleasure, I'm sorry. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard not seeing those you love, especially at a special time. I really hope and pray that this is the only Christmas where we have to experience being separated involuntarily from those we love. All right, there we go. It'll dry. I might add more glue in a little bit. Maybe some buttons there or something interesting. But the page is already has some stenciling on, and that should work well. And I've made a little bit of a space to journal there with a die cut, and we have the tag that goes into the pocket. So there, I did something on the video instead of just explaining. It's Lori with Positive Thanks Living, and let's go into this next year with hope. And I am wishing you well, that you stay well, that you remain well, that we all can finish this time period with at least something to show for it with our junk journaling. Take care. It's Lori, Positive Thanks Living. We'll see you again soon.